So give me a second. Okay, so welcome. Today I want to talk to you about what is poor equality, how that is determined, as well as give you about 11 or more signs or 11 or so signs of, what poor equality is or how you can tell whether you have poor equality or not. Again, this is not going to be, a medical diagnosis or anything, but these can just help to guide you in the right direction. And so I'm also going to give you some tips on what you can do about it at the end. So before I forget, I do want to invite you to go ahead and sign up for my notification circle so that way you can get emails like letting you know that I am going live, so that way you don't miss any of the lives. My goal is to come with these videos at least once a week for you, and then give you some supplemental videos throughout the week just to help you to again stay motivated on your fertility journey, because I know how hard that is, to increase your awareness of fertility and poor equality, and to give you again guidance and things that can help you to avoid or to minimize infertility or low equality and other hardships that may come with that, right? So let's just get started. I see you in the room. Hello, sis, all of you there. Just type a one in the chat if you can hear me. Let me know that my audio is good, because again, I haven't been online or haven't made a video for maybe about 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, I don't know. And so again, just to make sure. So we're gonna get right into it. Poor equality, for starters, does not have a test. There's no test to determine whether you have low equality or poor equality. Okay, it really is just sort of like a diagnosis given by your doctor based on him looking at your labs, or determining how long you have been trying to conceive without any success, and of course some other things that may go along with that. And so with all the different combined, they pretty much make the determination that you have low equality. Now, before, it's not just something that they just, hopefully it's not just something that they just, a diagnosis they give freely. For the most part, it's my understanding, there are some things that are used to determine that you have poor equality, such as first and foremost, whether you have chromosomal damage. Okay. Thank you, sis, for letting me know I'm freezing. I already recorded a video, so if you are not able to see or hear me properly, I will upload that video after this if this one doesn't work out. I'm just trying to go live for okay, and that it could be either like impaired DNA and development of your eggs during meiosis. So your eggs, when they are growing and going through meiosis, you're 22 pairs of chromosomes or 24, and I think sometimes they do things like maybe like 25 or 26 or 27. Like it can get really off. So if you do have like an imbalanced number of chromosomes, that would indicate that you have poor equality. And one of the best ways to sort of tell that is if you actually do conceive and the baby that you give birth to, say for example, has Down syndrome or another sort of birth defect that can be common, okay, with women that have poor equality. The thing is, when you have poor equality and it is like a chromosomal defect, a lot of times those eggs or those embryos, they will not go on to produce a baby, okay, except in the case of like Down syndrome, and I think one other type of birth defect. But a lot of times we see women with a baby with Down syndrome, or if you've ever had a baby with Down syndrome, that is an indication that you have low equality and that you're likely to produce other eggs with low equality. So I know that's not like the best situation, and again, my heart goes out to you if you have produced a baby with I know it's challenging, but I do want you to know again, there are some things that you can do about that. So it's also important to know that all women have a degree of chromosomal damage. Or even girls, like as young as 15 years old, okay, will have some rate of low egg quality or poor egg quality. Not all of your eggs are going to be the healthiest. Not all of the eggs are going to obviously make it towards ovulation, and hearing that, oh, you have poor egg quality because you're over 35 or you're 40. No, all women have low egg quality. A 20-year-old has about a 20% rate of aneuploid eggs, or chromosomally abnormal eggs. Okay, so we rate of chromosomally abnormal eggs can and typically does increase. So that's just one thing. Chromosomal eggs are aneuploidity. Aneuploidity again just means abnormal eggs, whereas euploid means that you have no eggs, or that those eggs are normal. So another recurrent miscarriages, or reoccurring miscarriages, usually it's called like recurrent, right? So that's one sign. So if you've had recurrent miscarriages and you're, that they may help you to the recurrent. So another sign is if reserves, could mean that again you don't have a lot of eggs developing early on in the process, and when they're looked at under a microscope or a lab, usually you only find this out if you're doing IVF. When they're looked at during that time, it's determined that you just don't have a lot of eggs, and so therefore again you have diminished ovarian reserve, or you don't have a lot of oocytes forming or growing, and so it's determined that you have diminished ovarian reserves. Okay, let me just see. I do have notes on this. So when they're measuring the eggs, like one way that it is determined is, again, they use a measurement called like ng over ml, or milliliters. I'm assuming ml usually stands for milliliters, right? So if you have more than 1 g over ml, you have normal level of ovarian reserve. However, if you have less than 1 ng over ml, okay, it is believed that you have low or diminished ovarian reserves, okay, or DOR, which stands for, again, diminished ovarian reserves, right? And so these are measured in eggs that are under 4 millimeters. So again, they're not measuring the eggs that are like 8 millimeters or larger. They're just measuring those eggs during the pre-antral and the antral phase. Let me know if you can see me on Instagram. I see that there's still people here, but my screen is freezing for me. Or is it something that my camera is doing? I think it's something my camera is doing. Okay, just touching buttons on itself. Okay, so I'm live on YouTube too. If this goes, I'm live on Instagram, I'm live on YouTube, Nattassia Winter. You can find me there, or BlackFertility on YouTube, right? But anyways, so yeah, the eggs are only measured during the pre-antral and small antral phase, and only eggs that are about 4 millimeters are measured, or eggs that are under 8 millimeters. Okay, again, diminished ovarian reserves. And the same thing applies for low AMH. Only the eggs that are between 4 mm and 8 mm are measured. Nothing is measured over 8 millimeters. Okay, so again, these are not like 100% accurate tests of how much anti-Mullerian hormone you have, which stands for AMH, which I don't think I mentioned AMH. We're going to talk about that next. And again, it's not a 100% accurate measure for diminished ovarian reserve. It's just an estimation of those eggs during the pre-antral and small antral phase. So the next thing is AMH. So let's just talk about that. Low AMH is another sign that you have poor egg quality. AMH simply stands for, well, maybe not simply, but it stands for anti-Mullerian hormone. And anti-Mullerian hormone is a hormone that is released or produced on your ovaries in your granulosa cells. Sounds like granola, but it's called granulosa cells. Okay, it's produced on your granulosa cells. And again, this hormone is measured during your, what is it? Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna find the notes here, but it's again measured during your pre-antral and small antral phase, where your eggs are growing and developing during that phase. And again, it's only measured between 4 mm and 8 mm. So again, not a 100% accurate look at your eggs. You could have more anti-Mullerian hormone or higher anti-Mullerian hormone that is being measured by the test, but those tests, okay, or anti-Mullerian hormone test is used to measure your whether you have, again, high enough anti-Mullerian hormone. And again, it's a blood test that you would have to do. So, if you don't like pills, then you're not necessarily going to be able to find out. And again, it's usually only something that you find out about if you are actually doing IVF or IUI or ICSI or something like that, right? So let me see if there's anything else I can tell you about that. Okay, so yeah, the next thing is that for your AMH, it fluctuates from month to month. So it's definitely not a 100%, look at your eggs. It can go higher next month, it can go lower the next month, fluctuates, right? So depending on what you're doing, during your cycle can determine, whether you have a higher anti-Mullerian hormone or whether you have a lower rate of anti-Mullerian hormone the next month or, the previous month, if you want to look at it. So just an example of just how, there is no test for poor egg quality. It is just something that is sort of like determined looking at a bunch of different factors. Okay, so if this is helping you all, or some start to give you again some more signs of like what poor egg quality is, that you may, your periods are irregular, it could be a sign that you're just simply not producing, not menstruating, right? So whether you again, if you're not producing the eggs, you're not going to necessarily have a period every month, right? And so of course with that comes whether or not you have PCOS. So just to have PCOS, it doesn't mean you have other things going on in your body that are trying to deal with PCOS and the pre sort of diabetic state that your body may be in. And so energy, instead of going towards your eggs, maybe going towards, trying to balance out the sugar and the glucose in your body, right? And so PCOS is sort of like another indication that you may have low egg quality. Again, just because you have PCOS or because you have low quality, it doesn't mean that you cannot conceive. It doesn't mean that you cannot get pregnant, but it can sort of slow the process down. It can delay the chance of conception and the chances of pregnancy. And again, if you do have these like PCOS or so forth, for example, it can sort of maybe increase the chances that you would. So really, really important that again, those signs and that you possibly try to minimize the risks of those. If you don't have PCOS, if you don't have diminished ovarian reserve. So part of that again is that so much of the energy in a woman's body who has like endometriosis, so much of the energy in her body is going towards fighting off inflammation. Okay, there may be a lot of like inflammation cells or killer cells, just trying to fight off inflammation or just there. Remembering stuff from high school, body can throw off your hormones altogether, and so minimize again your body or a high stress level or chromosomal. This is another sign. Diabetes or pre-diabetes is another sign that you may have low egg quality. And again, similar to PCOS, your body is busy trying to fight off again sugar imbalances, other like issues such as maybe low energy, okay, that you may be suffering with if you have PCOS. Again, your body is going through these highs and lows of energy, okay, and then some other issues. Stress is another factor that may play a part in whether you have a low or high egg quality or not. And again, stress in and of. Okay, let's bring this back. Okay. Sorry about that. I just had to charge while I was recording and wasn't really the best, but now I'm done. So anyways, again, stress can increase your cortisol levels. Again, your body will be in constant fight or flight. It's not really the best, situation for your body to be in when you are trying to produce a baby. On top of that, there could be cellular stress. So you could have things attacking your actual cells. And again, your eggs are the biggest cells. So if they're able to sort of be harmed or damaged, that can cause more chromosomal damage. It can cause more cellular damage. Again, how your body is distributing energy and distributing nutrients and blood flow and oxygen and circulation and things like that. If your body is stressed, that can be affected, because if you think about sometimes when you are stressed, you may tighten up your body, you may become very tense, and that in and of itself can sort of reduce the flow of like circulation of fluids. And again, your blood carries nutrients. So if you're stressed and you're tightening up, say like your abdominal region or your sacral chakra area, then again, you may be blocking the flow of nutrients that could be going towards your ovaries and your eggs to help them to, again, become healthy, to produce, to undergo meiosis and growth and development, and to feed the mitochondria, which need to help your eggs to grow. Okay, so stress is another factor. So another one is a high toxic environment or high toxicity levels within your body, right? So depending on, maybe you live in an area where maybe there's a lot of pollution, maybe you live by a highway, maybe you go to work in a very polluted area or something like that. Maybe the work you do in it of itself is very toxic. Maybe the foods you consume are very toxic. Maybe the makeup that you use, the body care products, the cleaning product, the household products. Maybe there's asbestos in your house or something like that. Things like that, high toxicity levels, things like BPA, PCB, parabens, things like that can affect your egg quality. And there actually was like a study with, I think there were mice or rats, and they changed their water tube or their water feeder, and they changed it to plastic. And once they did that, they started to notice that the what do we call these, the rodents had a reduced fertility rate. And so they were able to retrace their steps and then realize that what had happened is that they had again switched to plastic. And so once they removed the plastic and went back to, I don't know, stainless steel, then the rodents, okay, because I can't remember whether it was rats or mice right now, they again went back to having healthy otrus and I think ovulation rates. Okay, so that was something that was linked to things like BPA or PCBs and plastics and things like that. Another one, which is not the cutest one, and probably one that we don't like to hear, and we're probably tired of hearing, is that if you're over 35. So if you're over 35, that is another sign, okay, that you have poor egg quality. And I think the reason why, for the most part, that this is a sign is because we don't live the healthiest diet, or sorry, lifestyle. We don't have the healthiest lifestyle in the West. And so by the time you're 35, you pretty much have, consumed so many things that are not healthy for you, that have not been feeding your ovaries, that have not been, conducive to fertility, eating a lot of fast food, using a lot of plastics, especially our generation. We grew up on plastic. Now this new generation, they have a fighting chance going back to glass. But like again, I know like around our teenagers, plastic just sort of took off, right? But again, when you are over 35, you have that accumulation of everything that you've been doing since you were a child, and your body is just not necessarily thriving beyond that point as a woman. I don't know about other cultures. I imagine that in other cultures where they are probably eating healthier, doing the things that help with fertility, getting sleep, sunshine, and, drinking lots of water and things like that. I just gave you some of the ways that you could increase your egg quality. But I would imagine that some of these women in other countries, they probably have a higher fertility rate longer or later on in life, but at least here in the West it's 35, right? But that doesn't mean that it's for everybody across the board. Obviously, we have been seeing for the last 20 years, women having babies in their 40s. And damn, when I say 20 years, so like, yeah, 10 years ago, I was seeing women having babies in their 40s. So I think now I'm starting to see women in their like late 40s, like going on to 50, starting to have babies and being able to carry babies. Whether they're naturally or not, I don't know right now. But again, we're starting to see women, carry babies later and later on in life. So it's not necessarily, written in stone Okay, that just because you're 35, just because you're 35, that you're not going to be able to have a baby. But that is one sign. So if you are over 35, or if you haven't had a baby yet, if you're thinking about having a baby, if you're wanting a baby, if you're 30, if you're 25, it's time to start thinking about, again, preserving your fertility or preparing for conception, or the things that you can do to enhance your fertility, as opposed to, just going along with the conventional diet and the conventional mindset and the conventional activities that people are doing, that is causing them to be infertile now, younger and younger than ever. Okay. So anyways, let's continue. So again, if you yourself have a genetic disorder that, again, may affect the quality of your eggs, because if you have a genetic disorder, it's possible that maybe there could be some like DNA damage that could be like transferred to your eggs, or that you already possess within your eggs at the moment. But again, all you need is one healthy egg. So even though I'm telling you all of this information, I do not want you to worry or to fret, because again, I am going to tell you some ways that you can, again, enhance your egg quality. I just want to give these ones to you. So another one is if you have a poor diet. Okay, so if you, like I've mentioned a little bit, if you are just eating whatever, if you are out at every fast food joint, and I'm talking about the regular ones, the Mickey D's and the other Kangs up in here, up and out there. If you are at the next soda, wherever they selling soda, if you're driving through, whatever drive through, if you driving through to get your food, it's probably has some things in there that are not necessarily good for you. Okay. One of the main reasons for this is that fast food companies, the food comes in contact with a lot of plastic. A lot of the sauces are held in these big plastic, either jugs or tubs or vats. They're the machinery that is used to make a lot of like things like deli meats, or whatever the case may be, has plastic parts in it, which may, even though they might be food grade, they might still be shedding some plastic within. Like I bought several things, open cans, and there was like parts of, well, glass in one instance, but in other instances, just, jumbled up melted plastic and things. So this can get into the food supply, and this can affect you if you eat food from fast food places and junk food, and again, unhealthy food, period, that has been heavily processed, okay, in a factory. And that's just in the factory. We're not talking about what the actual restaurant is doing and what they're adding to the food. And so anyways, that's another thing. So if you have a poor diet, even how your food is cooked. Okay, so if your food is cooked in a way where it is like burnt, if it is like super well done, if there is like again, burnt parts in your food, there's something called ages. Okay, I can't remember what it stands for right now, but even that, okay, has been shown to affect egg quality. Well, fertility. I'll just say fertility for now. Negatively, chances are it's affecting your egg quality. Why they say that, but okay, even burnt food or how your food is cooked, okay, can be affecting your equality. So not to freak out, if you like open a bag of chips and there's like a burnt chip, or if you eat some fries and there's like a burnt fry, or if you burn some food at home, okay, not to freak out or anything, but just to acknowledge that, again, that too much of that, or if you like to, okay, let me just say this. Okay, there's like certain dishes that Jamaican people cook. Okay, I'm Jamaican, or my family's Jamaican. There's certain dishes, right, where it's really, really the best. They say the best part of the food is the bottom. Okay, when you scrape the bottom. Okay, so if you're a culture, if you're doing that, if you're scraping the bottom of the pot and like you're eating the little chip stuff that comes from, that's probably something you should stop doing right now. Right. So those are just some signs. Let me see if I can find some more. I'm really just going through a bunch of notes that I have here. Um, but yeah, so we could probably start talking about some of the things that you can do to improve your equality. All right. So, like I mentioned, just because you may have any of these signs, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have that you cannot conceive. Actually, I'm seeing some more. Do you want to hear more? Do you want to hear more? Okay. let's see, it's not that many more. Okay, so again, over 45, let's just say that. That's another sign. Okay. And again, it by the time you get to 45, I think you have like a 5% chance, a 3 to 5% chance of conception. Again, nothing to completely give up about. You do still have a chance. Okay, you just need the one egg. But again, the older you get, it does, the rate of fertility does take another dip. Okay. Secondary infertility, if you already had secondary infertility, that's also a sign that again you may have poor egg quality. We talked about PCOS. Okay, what else? So yeah, so I'll just say those two for now. So what did we talk about? Well, let's see. Trouble conceiving, that should be a given, okay, to some degree. So trouble conceiving, low AMH, anovulation or missing periods, okay, or irregular periods. We'll put those together. Recurrent miscarriages, whether you're over 35, over 45, poor diet or lifestyle, secondary infertility, PCOS, chromosomal birth defects, endometriosis, toxins and so yeah, what toxins and toxic exposure, and diabetes, high stress, genetic disorders or predispositions, and recurrent. I think I said that one like 5 times. So that's it. I don't know how many of those are. I'm just giving them all to you so that way you can, have an idea. Fibroids, yes. Okay. Oh my God. I usually include this in there because nobody else does. But yeah, fibroids. I say you may have poor egg quality if you have fibroids. And actually, there's several other things. There's hyperthyroidism, and I think hypertension. So and there are more. Okay, these are just the list that I have like at hand right now. But yeah, there's other things like hypothyroidism. Um, okay, but fibroids. Fibroids, I say that fibroids can be an indication that you may have low equality because again, your body is trying to deal with that. Your body is trying to again deal with these fibroids, whether it's trying to shrink them, heal them, um, deal with the pain of them, that again the inflammation caused by the fibroids may be producing, as well as the fibroids themselves are sucking nutrients, they're draining nutrients from your body. Okay, they're there, they're in the way, and they're causing disruption, as well as the fact that fibroids in themselves are grown from damaged cells. Okay, so if there were damaged cells in your body that can allow these fibroids to grow in the first place, there's probably a chance that your eggs themselves may again suffer some sort of damage or chromosomal effect, okay, during meiosis and things like that. And the thing is with your eggs, okay, it does take a long time considerably for your eggs to fully mature. Okay, from the time they come out of dormancy, it takes about like 90 days. Okay, 90 to 120 days. And throughout these different phases, your eggs, they want what they want and they need what they need. And if your body is not able to supply them with the nutrients that they need at the time when they need them, okay, then again, they can struggle during meiosis. Meiosis is one of the times when, again, a lot of the damage happens, right? And so if you have something like fibroid, PCOS, if you smoke, if you do things like that, and your body is depleted right when your body needs a high level of mitochondria, a high level of energy. Okay, and again, mitochondria is what supplies your eggs with energy in the form of ATP. But if mitochondria has to be doing something else somewhere else to minimize stress, minimize you know take on like an extra workload so your body can heal. If your body is busy doing something else, it's not going to be there. The energy is not going to be there. The nutrients is not going to be there for your eggs, right? And so again, that's why it's not a good idea to do things that are going to increase your cortisol levels, such as maybe drinking coffee. It's not a good idea to, put yourself through a lot of stress. And it's a good idea to do things that are going to reduce stress. That's why a lot of things like that work. So I hope that answers your question about fibroids. I want to get into some of the things that can work, and I'm starting to talk about them already. So some of the things that really affect your eggs. Well, the reverse of that is to have a healthy diet, right, and a healthy lifestyle. It's okay if I be freezing. I recorded I recorded a shorter version of this video, which I'm gonna upload onto my Instagram later, so you can, again, check for that. I'm sorry that it keeps freezing. I'm not really close to any towers, I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere just a little bit. Okay, but now I know pre-recorded videos. So, anyways, just to continue, and oil, right? So when you eat things like broccoli and kale, they have compounds in there that actually can fight against the fibroids. Okay. So, dark leafy greens, nuts, seeds, monounsaturated fats and oils, again, from plants or plant-based. Plant-based proteins such as, again, seeds and legumes are beans, and you do gotta sort of be careful with the peas just a little bit, because some foods are anti-fertility. Green peas is supposed to have a chemical, which I can't remember the name, and it's kind of long. But green peas has like a chemical that is not really good for fertility. I'm not saying don't eat green peas, but just maybe eat it in moderation, because I love split peas. But again, it is something that you want to eat in moderation, because I know some cultures, I think like Trinidadian or South Asian, particularly like some Indians or Hindus, like to eat a lot of like split peas. Not just Indians and Hindus, also Armenians and stuff like that eat a lot of split peas. Okay, so anyways, I like split peas. I didn't. My culture don't really eat split peas, but since I've tasted it, oh my god. But anyways, so some foods are sort of anti fertility foods, and split peas is one of them. So again, eating fertility foods can help. So you want to eat, a lot of fruits, such as things like pomegranates, things like, again, some of the nuts you want to eat will be like rich in selenium, but you don't want to eat too much of it. So what is that nut called again? Brazil nuts are good, but again, so living a healthy lifestyle, making sure, again, you're getting enough sleep, sunshine, and things like that. And again, just like avoiding some of the things, avoiding the high stress, avoiding the toxicity, avoiding, you know, doing things that can, again, affect your body negatively or cause inflammation. So like no over exercising, no engaging in too much drama. Okay, so my phone is about to die. I think, I don't know, it's saying something about something. Anyways, so those are some of the ways. There's other things you can do. There's, you want to make sure that you're taking care of your diet. I'll just give you the groupings. You want to make sure that you're taking care of your diet. You want to make sure that you are taking care of your mindset, because that's one of the main things. Your mindset is top priority. If your mindset is, if you believe everything that you have been told about fertility and equality, I don't even know why you're still watching this, because you're not even supposed to believe that you can improve your fertility, let alone your equality. Okay, you're not supposed to believe that. So, if you believe everything you're told, then you're going to behave as such. So if you think you can improve your equality, you're not going to change your diet. You're not going to improve your diet. You're not going to improve your lifestyle. You're not going to, do the healthy things. Right. So your mindset sort of needs to be open and clear and positive. You need to be taking care of your mindset and making sure that, as far as it relates to fertility, that you have a very high vibe, okay, when it comes to your mindset regarding your fertility, your eggs, and your ability to be able to conceive a baby. Okay, because when you do have that high frequency thought, and you do have very high vibes and very uplifting, upbeat mood about fertility, which you don't really see in the fertility community. Usually in the fertility community, everything is freaking down. Everything is boo, woo, who is me. I'm so sorry. But it can be a little depressing, and I really feel like it's contagious. Okay. So you do have to sort of break out of that, because it's almost like every other woman, and not every other woman, not you, but like there's certain groups of women. I'll just say that there are certain groups of women that they will not let you be happy. They will not let you have a positive outlook. They don't even necessarily want you to watch my video, or do things like improving you know donor eggs. And so on their journey to force their bodies with drugs and hormones and needles, there's no room for positivity. There's the only positive thing for some people is that they actually can arms and legs and breathing, right? And then, the best way to conceive is through your mind, and through your mind is how you conceive a healthier lifestyle. Is how you, preparing your body for conception, because you have to prepare your body for conception, especially if you're trying to go about this the natural way, right? And so if you can, switch gears and get your mindset to look at things differently, and not just see IVF as a solution, or not just see that, you're over 35, you're over 45, and there's nothing you can do with donor eggs, if you can look beyond some of these things that we've been told, you can start to understand, okay, yes, there's evidence, there's studies, and there's women that, maybe, who have improved their egg quality. So, it's not necessarily just miracles, not necessarily that, these people were, are better than you, are in a better situation or anything than you, but, there are things that that some women do and some women have done that have helped them to conceive a baby. What I see when I see they were consistent, okay, and also had a very positive outlook and mindset about their circumstances, right? And so those are like three of the things that are really, really going to help you. Okay, consistency, stick to itness, okay, being committed to what it is that you're trying to achieve, making sure that you have a strategy, that you have a plan in place. Okay, so plan, strategy, consistency, okay, and again, positive mindset is what's going to help you to withstand all of that, right? So those four things, okay, are probably going to, not even probably, those four things, making sure that you have a plan. What is your current mindset? Like, I'm not just saying this to say this. You need to know what is your mindset about your unique fertility situation. What do you believe? What have you been told to believe? So I would highly encourage you to write some of this stuff down. I know I'm talking fast, and I talk fast, 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 fast. I don't always talk fast, but when I do, I do. But put everything together like this. Like, I'm giving you, again, high level information. So you want to go through what is it that you believe about your fertility? Do you believe that you can conceive? Do you believe that you can commit? Do you believe you can do that? It's okay if someone's in, okay, with that plan, strategy, and have some like sort of blockages or some shortcomings, or they're going to play over into your everyday daily activities. You might be like, oh, well, you were told that you can't conceive a baby over 35, and you might be like, oh, well, I'm going to try. But if your subconscious mind really, really, truly believes that, months, and you're realizing, well, damn, that's how I felt every time I, ate this really, really unhealthy thing. Like, it was toxic when I looked at it. Toxic all over it. Or maybe you're doing certain things that are unhealthy, because a lot of times, a lot of times women know that there are some things they're doing that is not helping their fertility. When I have calls with women, a lot of the times they're telling me what they're doing that's not helping. Okay, so this is no judgment at all. Not here to judge you, just here to help, and offer support. But again, be honest with yourself. Again, this is for you. This is for you. This is for you. I can't see what's going on in your life or anything like that. But for your own self, over the next week, just sort of assess your activities. How do you allow yourself to become stressed out? Do you allow yourself to engage in high cortisol, high stress induced situations and environments? Not eating a healthy diet, which can make you moody and you know, maybe a bit agitated, or increase your anxiety levels. What are your triggers if you have anxiety? What are your triggers if you have things that cause you to do these unhealthy things? So it could be a lot to deal with on your own, which is my number one message to you here, is that you're not alone. You're not alone, right? So even if you have any of these fertility issues, if you have, irregular periods, low MH, diminished ovarian reserve, if you have endometriosis, diabetes, all of these situations, if you have low egg quality, you are not alone. You don't have to do all research yourself. I just did a ton of it. No, I didn't just do it, but like I just gave you a ton of information. And there's so much more that I would love to share with you to help you on your journey. I just want to let you know again, you don't have to do it all by yourself. You're not alone, even in the situation that you're going through. And I would love to be able to offer more support. So if you do want to learn more, you can click the link in my bio. That way you can download my top 5 ways to increase your egg quality naturally. And so I've given, if you missed it here, or if I've like sort of like gone too deep within, what you can do, or I haven't covered it enough. If you click the link in my bio, I talk about the top 5 ways to increase your egg quality naturally for women over 35. Okay. And it doesn't matter if you're 30 or like 25 or something like that, but really, of course, if you're over 35, I'm sure it's a concern for you. And if you're 40 or 45, you can also check it out as well. Okay, I talk about the top 5 ways to increase your egg quality. Another thing that I have for you is my feminine approach. Okay, and so I have my free mini fertile woman activation training. So if you want to learn about my approach and how I implement those 5 tips, okay, in my free PDF, if you want to learn how I implement that, then you want to check out my fertile woman activation training, because my approach is a more feminine approach, okay, as opposed to IVF, which to me is a more masculine approach. So if you want to learn about that, make sure to watch my fertile woman activation training. It is a mini training. Okay, there is a longer training. But first, check out the shorter training. Let me know if you're interested in that. If you are interested in that, not only is there an extended version, there's also a masterclass that you can request your invitation to. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and check that out. And then thirdly, if you still have questions, or if you want more help trying to, again, see how I can help, or you want to talk about your situation and you want to learn how you can, get solutions to your unique situation, you can go ahead and book your call with me. And to do that, you just click the link in the bio. So before I go, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for sitting here for these so many minutes of, in and out internet. Again, I do have a shorter version of this video, which you can watch. I don't know if I'm going to upload it today, but I'm going to upload it sometime this week. Okay, where I go over some of this. And just another thing you can do is to sign up for my notification circle in the link in my description. Okay, so that is all I have for you today. I'm Nattassia Winter. I help women to activate their egg quality and fertility naturally. So if you, again, want to learn more, make sure to please click the link in my description. And before you go, like this video, give it a thumbs up, and please share it with a friend. Okay, so if there's any questions, let me know. I'll probably stay on here a couple more minutes if you have any questions about egg quality or anything that I talked about here today. Okay, I'm probably going to cut this video, so these questions aren't necessarily going to be uploaded. But again, it depends. So let me just see if there were any questions. No. Well, there were, but I think I addressed them during the live. Okay, so all right, so that's it for today. I'm gonna go ahead and live. Look out for my next video my next live. Look out for my next live next week. Monday, I'm going to be doing my best to upload these early for you, at least once a week. And then also, if you miss anything, you can also just check out my YouTube channel at BlackFertility. Okay, just saying hi to everybody before I go, or saying bye, I guess, in this case. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you again in another video.